Hey guys, here we are for the Mapei Duels in the Pennzoil Cup Series Season 2, essentially the qualifiers for Daytona. We have two 25-car fields here at Daytona, and we're ready to kick this race off and get underway. 8 drivers will be going home after these two races, 4 from each race, and there are 24 drivers who are restricted from not being those guys. Basically, if you were in the top 30 Nona points last year, you were basically in. Anyways, we're gonna get set here, and we're gonna see our starting lineup for this first duel of the day. So on the pole, Rick Witt in the 68 car, driving for Red Viper Racing in his second year in the series. Michael Jones on his outside with Bad Dad Racing. Row 2 also consists of some Bad Dad Racing drivers. In fact, all 3 of them qualify in the front 2 rows, Kyle Singer and Brian Boone. Row 3 has Jay Barker and Kyle Collins. Both ran the butt shootout a week ago. It's been a little bit, but we are back 2 weeks later, ready for some more racing. Cody Russell qualified on the pole for that race, and AJ Davidson ran all right through the race, and for Big Motorsports and Malley Motorsports. Anyways, Webster Zygarde riding in row 5, Gary Weaver making his debut to the series on the outside. Row 6, Arsha Hussain and Brian Lenning also making their debuts to the series, and the JT Motorsports new motorsports team made from Jacob Tube. Row 7, Jay Durrell and Daniel Boyles. Daniel Boyles obviously winning the butt shootout on fuel strategy in that Red Viper Racing Dodge. Row 8, find Michael Krister for a good start for that rookie, and Nick Purcell's with a new team on the outside in that Toyota. Row 9, Ferdinand Gavot finally making his return after a sickness last season, and Zach Tomoski in his first start of the season. Row 10, Tasha Jasmine Rodeo, another Rookie of the Year candidate. Sam Rogers competed only 2 races last season, looking for a good season here this year. Row 11, Giovanni Barraza in the Barraza Inc. home family-operated team, and Joseph Sprigley making his first start as a rookie. Cooper Cyron, also a rookie, and as well on his outside, Andrew Jordan in the DOC Chevy for BC Racing. And finally, Blaine Keys will round out the field in 25th as we get ready, and here we go. Green flag is out as Rick Witt will get a good jump on Michael Jones in the Lindsey Marine car, as he'll drive to the outside to get the push from Michael Jones he needs. I don't know if NASCAR's going to call that a jump of the restart, but I don't know. Rick Witt is going to pull ahead of Michael Jones, though. Michael Jones is going to line up behind him. The 2 Dodges working together. Actually, the entire front 4 are Dodges. Anyways, the 4 Dodges go to the outside, leaving Jay Barker down there in the Van Chevy to try to pick up some spots with help from Cody Russell in the 77 K&N car. Now, there goes Michael Jones in the Lindsey Marine car, down low in that Dodge. Bad Dad Racing looking to take the lead back, but as I was saying, the bottom line is definitely the way to go here at this track. There is no other way, at least it's what we've learned from the Bud Shootout. There is no other place on the track to go than the bottom. So if you get stuck on the top, you just gotta wait to go back. Jay Barker, though, will take the lead in that Van's number 2 car for National Racing, but Cody Russell is going to take it quickly at ease with them. Big Motorsports had their first pole, and the only pole so far of Season 2 at the Bud Shootout. Cody Russell took that in the K&N car, except actually it was the Oreo car for that race, but K&N will be on the car for here in Daytona. Webster Zygarde going to try to make it under, but Cody Russell all the way from the top to the bottom going through the corner, as that was some trust with the 12 car. A little give and take here. This is only the first part. It's a 20-lap race. You don't want to push your buttons here, especially the guys who are not in on owner points. Webster Zygarde and Cody Russell are in, as well as Jay Barker. But some of the guys behind him, we see the Philippines Racing Development cars, the 58 and the 63 car running up there, as well as Cooper Cyron in the 17. We are riding on board Gary Weaver right now. He's another guy who's in on owner points, riding for the new Hoffman Motorsports. Teammate Blaine Keys started 25th, but he's currently made his way up to the front. But Gary Weaver now taking the lead right now past Giovanni Barraza, who had a terrible night at Bud Shootout, seemingly to keep on going to that with no points events. So hopefully he'll do well in the real events as well. But the Coca-Cola car is now going to start to fall back as the Hershey Chevy of Brian Lenning is going to go on by. However, Brian will pull to the top. A couple laps later, we see Cooper Cyron, one of the guys who are trying to make the race, move into the lead, except Nick Purcell's won't have any of that. He is in on under points. Nick Purcell's does not have to worry. Here comes Andrew Jordan, the 10 car for BC Racing. And that DOC Chevy was one of the teams that was really looking for some sponsorship come the end of the season, come the shootout, but they managed to get all the races on that car signed up to have a sponsor, so every team is now confirmed good to have a sponsor on the car, unlike last year, where pretty much it was a miracle if an underfunded team had a sponsor on the car. But the 10 car will give up his lead as well for Webster Zygarde to come back by the number 10 car in that GE Chevy. But Webster Zygarde, like we said, is confirmed on points. All he needs to do is basically just save his car. Currently, no wreck has happened so far over the speed week, so we're gonna see if that stays the same. Daniel Voiles, last week's winner, riding a different paint scheme for this race, and he won on fuel strategy. However, that is not a question here. There is no fuel gambling here. It's just race your heart out and hope to win. Speaking of racing your heart out and hope to win, here's Michael Krister. He needs a good run. This is one of your guys looking to get in by racing his way in. Remember, there are 8 drivers that are not going to make it out of the 26 going for the win, going to make it in. And Michael Krister, obviously being a rookie, he is expected to be one of those drivers not to make it in. AJ Davidson will see his time at the front, as well as Webster Zygarde and Andrew Jordan yet again up there. Definitely showing that they deserve to be in the next race. But Gary Weaver's going to poke to the inside. And we're coming to the end of this race. You got to get... Oh, man, the 04 kind of shoves Sam Rogers down into the line. That's Michael Jones, your outside pole sitter. And they're going 4 wide through the trial. Well, this isn't good. Oh, they're going to get wrecked! Sam Rogers in the wall. Arshaw Saint. Cars moving everywhere to try to avoid it. I saw Michael Krister. Oh, I think I saw Jay Barker, Rick Witt make it through it. Gary Weaver's back under power. Now the race is on. Who will make it back to the finish line first? We're looking at Andrew Jordan. He didn't get started up really quick. You see all these cars trying to go by him. That's Cooper Cyron in the 17 car. Remember, the last 4 guys, excluding the guys who made it in on owner points, are not going to make it. You see Sam Rogers really slow. He is confirmed 25th. Ferdinand Gabat making his return 24th. Those 2 cars are confirmed out right now. Brian Lenning is owner points. So currently it looks like up to Andrew Jordan, those 4 cars will be out. Brian Lenning obviously excluded because he's in on owner points, but coming around, this is just to seal the deal. Andrew Jordan's trying to gain a position on Michael Jones, but he is locked in on points as well, so it won't make a difference. And there they go, making it back to the line. So those 4 cars are currently your 4 out. And NASCAR's just confirmed we will not get a green-white checker finish. And oh no, what's this? Tasha Jasmine Ridejo has a problem with 2 laps to go. And oh, what just happened? And this is not what Philippines Racing Development wants to see. Is can she make it back? No, she won't. She will not make it back. She is not going to make it to 500. And you just saw Ferdinand Gabat was 24th. He's not going to make it either. Here's Sam Rogers. You see, he was the main guy in that wreck. He was on the bottom, almost shoved out. And definitely a little give and take could have been given there, as there were 4 laps to go, but you didn't have to race that hard. And well, Sam Rogers just kind of was at the end of the stick there. Gary Weaver pretty much just caused that wreck, though. We're gonna have to see what NASCAR has to say about that. Ferdinand Gabat, though, this is why he will not be making the 500. And you see, he's just gonna lose it as he tries to avoid the wreck. Yeah, kind of a rookie move right there. I don't know what to say, as Ferdinand Gabat has had a lot of experience, but just trying to get back into it after his sickness. Andrew Jordan, now here's how he's gonna miss it in the BC racing car. Oh, and he just clips Cooper Cyron. That was who was going by. Cooper probably would have made it by too. He was definitely clear, and Cooper is not gonna make the 500 just because of that little gap. But Andrew Jordan, with Tasha losing an engine, he will make it. But you see checkered flag waving for Cody Russell. It's a great win for Cody Russell as he did his burnouts. Webster Zygarde couldn't come home as not a surprising second, as Cody Russell and Webster actually led a lot of the laps here today. Rick Witt finished 3rd off of his pole, excuse me. Jay Barkle finished 4th. Kyle Collins 5th. Giovanni Barraza, definitely an up statement 2 is Bud Shootout running 6th. Zach Komoski, Daniel Voiles, last week's winner in 8th. Nick Purcell's Michael Krister just showing strength all week long so far, definitely deserving it. And you saw the rest of those guys. Arsh Hussain, 15th, 16th. These are your disappointment runs right now. But if you look from the bottom up, Sam Rogers, Ferdinand Gabat. TC Tasha actually finishes 22nd, so she did cross the finish line in front of some cars, but not enough as Cooper Styron and Andrew Jordan make it by. But Tasha being bumped down, Andrew bumps up. Andrew is now safe, and he will race the 500. And just the way things change, but you gotta feel for Philippines Racing Development. Basically, the team that got Jake Booker to championships, not gonna happen. This 500 isn't gonna play out this week. And speaking of Jake Booker, you see this is the second duel now as the cars have lined up. Jake Booker on the pole, as we'll run through the rest of your starting lineup. But anyways, 4 people have been called not gonna be in the Daytona 500. Who else is going to join them? Here, so we got 4 more cars to nominate. You see Jake Booker, last year's champion on the pole in the Lay's Chevy. Eric Willis, give claps to him as that's a great starting spot for that car. Row 2, Nicholas Samudio has been showing impressive strength ever since Watkins Glen. On his outside, Jack Newman. Row 3, Ryan Kendall, great starting spot for him too. Some of these guys are getting really good qualifying runs. Michael Kraft on his outside. Row 4, Aaron Lucas and Derek Petrie, ex-teammates last season, driving for JT Motorsports and Big Motorsports. Row 5, we see Hergio Arvin Alonso. One of those Philippine Racing Development cars needs a good finish here, or else they might not even make it. On his outside, Brock McMahon. And then Ryan Dunn and Kevin Ulrich are in row 6. Ryan Dunn going for his second Daytona 500. Row 7, Cesar Chavez, another Rookie of the Year candidate. Chloe Baker on his outside in the Double Team Motorsports Toyota. Row 8, Zach Cars in his newly formed Switchback Racing. And Ediston Edkar, the Pakistani driver. Row 9, Aaron Allen, who had a terrible practice crash earlier today. And Addison Steinbach on the outside. And row 10, we see Ethan McDowell, the Estonian driver, and Peter Rizkov, the Ukrainian. So definitely seeing some colorful flags from around the world in that row. Row 11, David Barraza and the Barraza Inc. family-owned team, and Calvin Wood, a Rookie of the Year candidate as well. And row 13 finds Jose Vasquez and Daniel Maxwell, a Rookie of the Year candidate for ADT Racing. Lucky to find Under Armour to sponsor them. Matthew Brown, riding a Mustang, will start 25th. Pace car is going to pull off here as Jake Booker is going to lead the field to the second duel. Green flag is out in the air as Eric Willis is not going to get a good jump, and almost an identical start to what we saw in the first duel. But that almost looked just, it could have been Jake Booker jumping the start. We don't know, but it almost looked like Eric Willis didn't get going quick enough there. But look at the field already going through wide. Look at Ryan Kendall from 5th to 2nd in just one corner. That 56 Scott's car is already going to the front. And they're doing very well. You see Aaron Luke's behind him in the 38 car to try to show what JT Motorsports is all about. But look at Ryan Kendall going for the money. The Scott's Chevy just somehow fired out of a cannon even better than Jake Booker, and he's going to take the lead. If you remember, he was involved in that vicious crash in the final race of Season 1, and he's come back even stronger than ever. And Ryan Dunn, you see behind him in the Adobe car, that number 9 car is just going to fall in right behind Kendall, but he's going to duck out for, I believe that's Cesar Chavez, but he's not really going to go for him. Zach Carr's piling in on the inside now as you see the field very scrunched up behind. But it all, like we said, it's an ongoing trend. The outside line does not work. When you get up there, just might as well fall back while you have the chance, so you can try to make a run at the end of the race. You see Zach Carr's, Addison Steinbach now fighting for that position up in the front. Addison Steinbach is going to make it on the inside. And look at that, the 44 car. Where did he start? Like 23rd? He's already up to... He's going to get in the second here. Yep, he's going to be in second this time around. So that Estonian driver really showing him what for here today at Daytona. But coming around the course, you see the 44 in the lead. Oh, we got a car in the wall. That's Aaron Allen. And Addison Steinbach, caution is out as not as big as a wreck as we saw in Duel 1, but definitely a wreck. Who's involved? Nicholas Samudio and Ryan Kendall. Ryan Kendall trying to race his way into Daytona. He had such a great start to the race, but fell back, and now he's involved in this wreck. I saw Aaron Allen, he has some pretty big damage, but Nicholas Samudio is involved. He's one of your guys trying to race his way in, and this is bad on so many levels for so many different people. And I don't know what to say. I don't know exactly what happened. We're gonna have to see the replay. But Aaron Allen, that's the second bad crash he's had this week. You see, yeah, I don't know what to say about that. He looked like there was just, he thought there was room, but there was just none to be had up there. So Aaron Allen with pretty much a permanent sponsorship by Geico for 23 races this season. So lucky to have that on board, but this is not going to be what they wanted to see. As you see, Addison Steinbach, he had no wrongdoing in there. Just Aaron Allen tried to come down. Addison Steinbach had a run. It looked good for a second, but that hole really closed up in the end. So tough break for Steinbach, but at least he is in on points, so he will be making the 500. Aaron Allen, we're unsure though. Callum Wood will lead him to the green. That is actually a Double Team Motorsports car. Double Team Motorsports, 4 drivers, and they weren't even in last season's roster. So definitely an underfunded team going all the way, and definitely did find sponsorship. One of the first teams to fill up all 4 of their cars, so not too shabby for them. But they found a ton of really youthful rookies all ready to run for the championship and the Rookie of the Year championship as well. But Callum, he's going to have to give up his lead to a more experienced driver. Kelvin Ulrich in the Jimmy John's Ford will take the lead. But look at behind him, Nikita Rizkov taking over Nick Purcell's ride in the Interstate Batteries Dodge, and the Ukrainian is now going to try to lead his first lap, getting pushed by Zach Cars in the Miller Lite Ford. And yeah, I'm actually seeing a lot of rookies up here, and this is great to see because not a lot of people got taken out in that wreck that were actually contending to try to race their way in. So this might be a bit of a problem as well. We're just going to have to see. Here's some of the guys who have fallen off the back of the field. Addison Steinbach running 25th in the Dr. Pepper Ford. Obviously, like we said, not a problem for him. He's already in. And Aaron Allen, here's the practice crash we were talking about. Just hitting the inside safer barrier. Almost spinning down pit road, but definitely it's a hard wreck to look at. So that's 2 wrecked race cars basically for Aaron Allen. He might not make it into the Daytona 500. What everyone wanted to see. And remember, that's actually a teammate of Derek Petrie and Michael Kraft, so definitely not what they wanted to see. Matthew, you see the 21 car right there, Nicholas Samudio on the 62. I meant Matthew Brown for the Speedco Ford, but those 2 drivers are actually trying to race their way in. Nicholas Samudio, I just said he qualified 3rd. He needed a good run. He's been having good runs, but it's going to be a wreck that takes him out of making it into the 500. Unless there's another wreck. But look at this. By the way they're racing, there might just be another wreck. 3 wide, and they are packed in there. What's so impressive about this, too, is, I mean, look at the rookies. Ethan McDowell, Jose Vasquez, Ediston Padcar, Hergiel Arvin Alonso, Chloe Baker, Daniel Maxwell, David Barraza, Callum Wood. All these guys, there's a ton of rookies in here. Cesar Chavez, Brock McMahon. I mean, that's more than half are just rookies. And then there's also the guys who aren't even in on points. They didn't run the full schedule last year. Here's Cesar Chavez, however, but he's not really where he wants to be right now. Obviously, Philippines Racing Development, they are down in the dirt right now. They lost 2 of their drivers in their other tour in this race. Obviously, they got some cushion, but there is one spot. The last driver in this field, not safe on owner points, is going to be eliminated as well as they run right now. Cesar Chavez is that person. Chavez has got to get to the front. White flag anyway is out as they go through turn 1 and 2. Zach Cars has led a majority of the race, but Kevin Ulrich is going to have something at that. Kevin Ulrich in the Jimmy John's Ford is going for the lead right now. And diving underneath, he's got a little help from Aaron Lukes in the 38 car. He's been up there all day as well. But the 34 car, I don't think it was that long ago that he was in the back. Coming off of turn 4, I think he's got it. He's going to slide up in front of Zach Cars, but here comes Aaron Lukes. Checkered flag waving is gonna I think that was the 34 car. Kevin Ulrich had definitely voiced his displeasure being in the 61 and now being in the 34 car. He looks like he's gonna win. But in the back of the field, it's going to be Cesar Chavez not getting to the line first, and Nikita Rizkov, the next car up, not making it in. So Nikita Rizkov will make it in. Cesar Chavez, the third Philippines Racing Development car, out. And you see Kevin Ulrich doing well-deserved burnouts for him in fast racing. By the way, that's a teammate of Michael Krister who did so well in the first duel. Could see some strength there. Aaron Leaks, like you said, second. Zach Carr's disappointment third. Ethan McDowell fourth. Look at these names though. Sergio Arpin Alonso, Eric Willis, Chloe Baker, Jose Vasquez, Callum Wood, Brock McMahon. You guys are all in the 500, and that is some good stuff to see. I don't think one Double Team Motorsports car is not going to make it. So that's great. Yeah, I'm right. Joseph Strigley made it in through the rounds last week. I mean, in the last duel. But you see, here's the guys who kind of just made it or are out. Ryan Kendall, Nikita Rizkov, David Barraza was actually the closest one. Those three drivers will make it through. But Cesar Chavez, Nicholas Tamudio, Matthew Brown, and Aaron Allen, you guys will not make the 500. Definitely a heartbreak for Nicholas Tamudio, though, as that is not what they wanted to see to start off their season. But gonna have to look to see if things will get better. The Pennzoil Cup Series will see you next week for the long-awaited Daytona 500. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you all next week, or hopefully this Sunday.